Good morning. Welcome to VotersAI Unfiltered. Today we have the pleasure to invite Fremont City Council member Shao to join us in a conversation about his campaign for California Assembly Member District 24. Welcome, Shao.
Nice to have me here.
Yes, we are really thrilled that you can be joining us today. So let's talk a little bit about yourself. How long have you been living in this district?
Oh, I've been living in this district since 2003, so over 23 years now.
Wow, that's a long time. You must have witnessed such drastic change over the last 23 years. I think Fremont has changed a lot.
Yeah, not only the local demographic has changed dramatically, I also see the rise of a group of Asian elected officials coming to local government and trying to serve people of their cultural and religious background.
Oh, that's great. And that is very inspiring. Now, I know that you come from a STEM-oriented, background. You graduated from Harvard, and this is very different, right, from your training of education. And what prompted you to pivot into a more political career?
Sure, that goes back to my experience in Harvard. In Harvard Yard, there's a gate called Dexter Gate, and there are inscriptions above the gate. And when you go into the campus of Harvard Yard, you will see it says enter to grow in wisdom. And when you depart, then it says depart to serve thy country and thy people better. So at that time, I already have the intention to give back to the society and to the local community.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I think that is the kind of spirit that we're trying to foster among our youth community as well. Well, thank you very much. So tell me a little bit about your journey stepping into local government. I know that you started as a school board member.
Sure. At that time, back in 2012, I was a parent of two students in Fremont, and I found that the parents were underrepresented, and I was trying to have my own influence in the local school district as a representative of parents. So I ran, but I lost. In 2014, I ran again, and luckily I was elected, and I served on school board for 4 years.
Wow, you certainly have established yourself among your community. So after the 4 year, you directly started to run for city council?
Yes, after 4 years of service in the local school district, I found out that not only the parents, but also everyone, namely all the residents, voters or not, in Fremont would like to have more voice on the decision-making process. For me, I found out that with my communication skills developed in the 4 years period of time, my knowledge of the understanding of the city, I could serve better on city council.
Right. It is, there's a misconception out there. People feel that, as a city council member, all you have to do is to attend the meeting every two weeks. But there's so much work behind the scene where you have to do your due diligence on many projects and that you have to make a decision on. So what is your experience and what is your key takeaway?
Sure. As a matter of fact, we just don't just show up at city council meetings. Behind the scene, or we study the issues, read the materials, and also communicate with community members to collect their opinions, learn about their concerns, and also I do my independent research. Since I have been trained as a scientist, I'm very data-driven. I look at the data, look at the facts, and I also try to find out whether the policy we're going to make will eventually deliver results. Because I understand that no matter how good a policy is. If it doesn't develop results in the end, then we have to change the policy.
Totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. Well, so let's talk a little bit about your current campaign. And could you share with us a little bit about the position that you're running for?
Sure. What I'm running now is for California State Assembly, AD 24, which covers Fremont, Milpitas, Newark, and northern San Jose in the Berryessa neighborhood. What I find out is that this district has very large similarity to the city of Fremont, namely over 60% of the residents are from AAPI communities, where we share the same values, we have the same American dream, and we have the same priorities, namely public safety, quality of education, and local business development.
Right.
And so for that, I think I'm a very good representative of AD 24.
Right, because Fremont has changed a lot, as I have mentioned before, and it has been rated really high among the scale of happiness, I think, right?
Yes, I'm proudly to share that over the last 7 years, Fremont has won the title of the best place to, in the last 4 years, best place to raise a family in United States, also in the last 7 years, the happiest city in the US. That is not to belittle other cities, but I feel that the contribution of the AAPI community in the city has played a big role.
Great. Now, obviously, there are a lot that is going on that you talked about, public safety, you talk about the quality of education and economic development. So let's start with education. I mean, education is always one of the key topics that most voters really care about. And in California, the education system is very complicated, obviously, especially for public school system. What is your take on based on your past experience, what our current public school system, and does that provide equitable, education for such a diverse, community in AD 24?
Sure. Since I worked on the school board for 4 years, I developed a deep understanding of the current situation of the public education, especially K to 12 in California. I think it has two issues. The first issue, of course, is funding. Even California is the one of the states that has the best economy in the United States, and we boast that we are number 4 in economy, even in the whole world. Funding-wise, per student, we still ranked about between 30th and 40th among all the 50 states.
Wow.
That certainly would explain why we have beat up facilities and lack of new textbooks and so on. And the second issue is accountability. I feel that right now, of course, the teachers in the schools, no matter how hard they work or not, they receive the same salary, and then they basically are not evaluated by their performance like the private sector. So therefore, it's all up to the individual teachers to decide how devoted they are to their job.
I see. So, in your opinion, once elected, what might be something that you can do about the education system?
Oh, certainly. I think just like the education system, California lacks accountability. Therefore, you see a lot of waste, frauds. You see a lot of uncounted spending. And if California puts the right priority in spending, then certainly in their budget, we can put more funding to the local schools. It doesn't mean that the more money brings out better results. It also has to do with the accountability of the teachers.
Right.
So by doing it together, promoting the transparency, accountability of the educational system while increasing funding, I believe that we can produce better students. And also, I want to say that recently you hear that we want to create more opportunities for students that has been underrepresented in their social economic status, and especially at the college level. So I feel that we should actually start much earlier from the kindergarten, and therefore provide them the fair resources while encourage them to enjoy this merit-based system. So by the time they graduate, they can actually reach the grade level when they go to college. I heard that even in California State University or UC systems, for some students, they cannot even meet their grade standard. So the universities have to really have some prep courses for them in math and other STEM courses. In order for them to eventually enjoy their college education.
Yeah, so let me recap. So what you're saying is California should allocate more resources from K to 12 on the demographic that is on the lower social and economic spectrum, so that we can really set them up for success once they are stepping into their college life. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, we start early. Then at the college admission level, then it's merit-based. So that everyone can really enjoy the fruit of their hard work during the K to 12 years.
Right. Okay, well, thank you very much. Now, talking about education, people cannot not talk about AI, because AI is playing such a vital role right now in the children's learning experience. So what is your take? What do you think the impact of AI will be on our youth community and in their future career choices and in their job outlook, and how can the state government help prepare them, right, for the new era?
Certainly, AI, just like the past three, the Industrial Revolution, it will dramatically change not only the educational system, but also the outlook of the job creation and eventually every aspect of the society. So from now, I think the state should not fear about AI, but to welcome AI as the new technology with open arms. But better still is to have a plan, step by step, to understand the AI technology, to utilize the strengths of this technology, to also have a revolution in our educational system, so that the students that we teach can be well prepared to be the trained for workforce in California. For example, in Fremont, we are known as the center or hub of the advanced manufacturing in California. Namely, we're leading in battery manufacturing, EV manufacturing, and so on. And for students, they need to not only fully get trained on the AI as a tool, but also they can have some outlook as to the future. Therefore, they can well fit the local industry and easily join the local workforce.
Right. Yes, I think so. I think, AI should not be our enemy, but rather should be our tools to be utilized. So let's change subject a little bit on the economic developments, right? With the rise of AI and Fremont being the hub of, light manufacturing, And what kind of economic strategy, I guess, do you envision for the district of 8624?
Sure. I think right now California cannot be by itself a pro-business environment. We've seen exodus of companies, large and small, and that's because of all the red tapes and the high corporate taxes. I think in order to keep the local economy booming, especially in 8024, which is known to have so many people like me working in high tech industries and well educated and really enjoying the booming of the economy in the Silicon Valley, we need to cut the red tapes, encourage more people to enter into entrepreneurship, also try to cut the waste, fraud, and so on, so that we can lower down the corporate tax to really attract businesses to come to California and then to set up their companies so that California will continue to be competitive to attract businesses to settle down here.
Right. Yeah, especially in the spirit of entrepreneurship, I think the process, the red tape, like you mentioned, will play a vital role, right, in their decision making, whether they're going to move the company over here or elsewhere where they have more faster process or less, more tax incentive. So that's great. Now, getting into public safety.
Sure.
Obviously, public safety unfortunately has been weighing on everybody's mind, especially in this election cycle. What do you see is our current trend, and what do you think we have done right, and what could we do more if you are elected as a representative for 8024?
Oh, that's my favorite topic because ever since I came to the city council, public safety has always been the topic that I advocate. Right now, statewide, we see the big issue here. We remember that in 2024, all the voters voted for Proposition 36 and it passed. But even as of now, in the governor's budget, this proposition has not received full funding. Therefore, there was not enough funding for the enforcement of Proposition 36. And the local law enforcement and even the statewide judicial system did not have the resources to make sure that the current law enforcement would meet the need and the will of California voters. And you see still, in California, we have a lot of crimes. In Fremont, last June, we have this Indian jewelry store called Coomer Jewelry, which got smashed and grabbed. Over 20 criminals just came in, and in 70 seconds, they stole up to $1.7 million worth of jewelry. But fortunately, this is where Fremont comes from. We actually sponsored the local Fremont Police Department to install a lot of flock cameras that could read the plate and tracked the cars that the criminals got away. So out of those 20 plus criminals, 18 were already arrested by the police department. So what we see that in the future, not only we have to make sure that all the first responders get fully funded in California, we also need to equip them with modern technologies and like drones, like plate reading cameras, so that they could avoid a lot of escalation while they were trying to enforce laws. But on the other hand, all the criminals can be quickly arrested and prosecuted and sent to prison.
Got it. So in your experience dealing with public safety, what do you think is the biggest challenge from your encountering with businesses owner or law enforcement is, I mean, from what I have read, Fremont Police have done a remarkable job trying to come to the rescue, coming to address any criminal activities. Now, what do you think is the biggest challenge that they face in continue to make Fremont better or reducing more crimes?
Okay, I think the biggest challenge is misinformation. For example, right now there's a rumor spread in the community that the flock camera they use to read car plate, license plate, and then arrest the criminals, as I said. The rumor says they are used by ICE to track undocumented immigrants, which actually would cause a lot of fear and panic. That certainly is something that I believe not only Fremont but all the cities need to continue to increase transparency and try to educate the community about the tools that law enforcement, local or federal, are using. On top of that, I think in Fremont, we have used so many successful programs like Drone as the first responders, a leader in the nation. We need to introduce such a success story or experience to Sacramento, and then try to encourage other cities to use the same tools and so on. More importantly, I think in public safety, we also try to study our current policies and try to deliver results. I'm a data-driven, result-oriented person. For example, in Fremont, we actually passed the camping ordinance to help the local police department to make sure that those illegal encampment would not endanger the business or even the safety of local residents and small businesses. And since we passed that ordinance, we have seen the reduction of illegal camping in Fremont. And so I think the biggest challenge, of course, when I said one thing is misinformation, the second thing is that it requires all the elected officials to really make decisions in a data-driven, fact-based approach rather than emotionally driven by fear or rumors or panic, as I said. So this, of course, requires us, the policymakers, to be more reasonable and transparent and accountable.
Right. Yeah, so you mentioned a big misconception, as you put it, that the flock camera can be used for ICE. So just is Fremont turning over any of those flock footages or data over to ICE?
No, the answer is definitely no. Right now, we have been using the flock cameras in Fremont over decades, and those cameras are installed at major intersections in the city, but also at the on and off ramps along the two highways. And in our experience, those flock cameras only read license plates, not faces, not the identity of the drivers. Therefore, we also have the standing policy to protect the privacy of the residents. Therefore, it has been proven that we already have stricken a perfect balance between enforcing the law and protecting the privacy.
Okay, that's great to know. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about your campaign.
Sure.
I mean, you are covering a wide area. You certainly got a lot of steps in. So what is your experience? Is there a big spectrum in terms of demographic? The people come from many different backgrounds. And then also, how do you strike a balance, like you said, between making sure that the public is safe, making sure that the education system is fair, while still providing enough resources for the vulnerable communities. I mean, right, we need to make sure that everybody in the community are thriving. So how do you do to achieve that?
Sure. In my campaign, I noticed that the biggest issue right now we're facing, regardless of your educational background, your income, and so on, is the cost of living. And we have seen that inflation has stretched the family budget to a limit. And no matter which party you're affiliated with, which city you live in, you always face the high gas price, all the other costs of living. So reducing the cost of living is one of the priorities in my campaign, and namely the housing shortage. We see that our next generation has hard time to continue to live in this neighborhood because the housing price has already driven them out.
Right.
So in my campaign, I advocate for smart housing development and try to focus on the middle class. Because after studying in the housing market situation for years, I noticed that we used to emphasize on the affordable housing for low income. Right now, it actually affects the middle income housing market as well. So not only do we have to build more, but we have to build cheaper. Why? Because right now, by cutting all the red tapes, especially the CEQA, the California Environmental Quality Act requirements, stretch it out not only to the affordable housing, but also to middle class housing, we can actually dramatically reduce the housing cost per unit by over $50,000, and also trying to increase the percentage of prefabricated housing, just like what the European countries do. We can also dramatically reduce the housing price in California so that we can overall increase the affordability of housing. Housing is one thing, the gas price is another thing. And right now, since we are already paying $6, $7, or even $8 a gallon at the pump, I would temporarily suspend the gas tax. And then try to help normal families to survive this difficult period. And then, of course, talking about gas price and eventually gas tax, we also have to look into the reason why California levies such a high gas tax, and then keep the gas price in California always number one among all the 50 states. We need to make sure all the gas tax expenditures are really what the gas tax was meant to in the beginning.
Which is?
Which is to maintain the local roads.
I see. So and it could be one of my misconceptions that one of the reason California's gas tax is so high is because of environmental purpose, right?
Right. So needless to say that we actually, because of the environmental concerns, have to pay more at the pump. Why? Because as you know, at a certain period of the year, Californians have to use gas with 40% alcohol in it. And in the long term, of course, some people may argue that this will reduce the carbon output and improve the air quality in California. But are we penny wise and pound foolish? Look at the last Los Angeles wildfire. It has pushed back the state of California in terms of carbon output by 640 years. And if we are not focusing on, for example, forest management and reducing local wildfire risks. We're only focusing on levying more and more taxes to protect the environment. We are not really addressing the main issue here. So for my environmental sustainability, we need to make sure our forest is safe. Our neighborhood, our houses are exempt from those wildfires that would destroy our beautiful homes.
Right. And but those two things can be going on at the same time. They're not really in conflict with each other, meaning that you can manage the forest while protecting the environment at the same time.
Right.
Do you agree?
Well, yes. Protecting the environment has always been my high priority, and we can do it at the same time. But priority-wise, I would say the current priority, learning from the lessons of the past wildfires over the decades.
Right.
We need to make sure our forest has been well managed.
Right. So speaking of wildfire, I'm going to bring up another topic that a lot of the voters really care about: insurance.
Yes.
As we've seen in the last 2 years, a lot of the insurance company have canceled our policy without much advance notice, and leaving a lot of the voters scrambling around trying to find another policy for their homes. What can you do as a legislator to mitigate this kind of situation?
Certainly, right now, of course, we all understand that because of the wildfires in the last decade in California, insurance companies have paid a lot of claims for those who lost their houses. And in insurance as an industry, if you understand how the insurance companies operate, is that we pay when everyone was safe, but the money pooled will pay eventually for the damages when something like wildfire happened. And they need to have money to pay for all the claims eventually. And when they are bankrupt, they can no longer offer policies for us unless they charge arms and legs.
Right.
So it is like the ecosystem where we have a mutual support for each other. If, let's just say, because of the wrong policies of the state of California that caused so many wildfires, then the insurance industry cannot survive because of those policies. And then that would eventually affect the cost of living for ordinary people because of this much higher insurance premiums. So you see the vicious cycle here. And for me as a legislator, I just don't simply want to overregulate the insurance industry because they just don't have money to pay for the claims. Instead, I want to go to the cause of the problem and try to make sure that in terms of wildfire, flood, earthquake prevention, with all those kind of policies there, are we really trying to increase the overall safety of the residents of California? Without addressing that by singling out the insurance companies, that would not solve the problem at all, because they always have an option to do business in California or not. They can simply walk out, leaving all the customers in California uninsured. This is what's happening right now. And if we don't address the policy issue and rather try to force those insurance companies to still do business in California while offering cheap premiums, that's certainly not sustainable.
Right. So by implementing policies to make sure that we are more well managed as far as wildfire, floods, and natural disaster, what can the government do does that expand our government body in order to implement these policies?
When you say expand a government body, you would imagine, oh, we're going to hire more people, have a larger budget. No, actually, the theme of my campaign is to increase transparency and accountability. For example, after the Los Angeles fire, there are many questions about the operation of the local fire department, but more important, also the introduction of water from Northern California to Southern California. So, but still, we don't see a dramatic change at the state level or the local level. Without making such changes, such disasters are destined to happen again. And without addressing the overall spending issue, the efficiency issue of the local government, but simply by just increasing the size or body of the government and increase the budget, I think California has been doing that and has been going in the wrong direction. So we never have any budget issue, we have a spend issue. Because spending has not been well oversighted, and we don't know where the money went. For example, California spent over $26 billion on homelessness, over $15 billion on high-speed rail, and so far there's no transparency, no accountability, and of course no result being delivered. So if I'm elected in the state assembly, I will advocate for more accountability.
Right. And how are the accountability also include how are the policy going to be implemented to protect the wildfire, protect against the flood, protect against earthquake or any other natural disaster?
Agreed.
Right. Okay. Well, I think I do want to, I said that I want to come back to your campaign. So in your campaign, is there any one story that really caught your attention or makes it so memorable that sticks with you?
Sure. This year I'm running as a non-party preferred candidate, MPP candidate. And why I do that is because I believe that based on my data-driven approach, science background, I always emphasize result first. I can represent people left and right. So one day when I opened my mailbox, I received an envelope. And I opened the envelope. It was actually a contribution, a check from someone I don't know. But what really touched me was a note which says, thank you for running as an MPP candidate. I believe California should not have any party at all so that we can have more results, less slogans, more data, less rhetoric and excuses. So I was so touched about the note, and I believe that I made the right decision.
Right. So it really resonates with you.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for joining us. So we really got to take a deep dive, right, onto many policies and about your campaign. And we really appreciate the time that you took to explain to our voters. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.